This is Rep AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and this is my first TikTok. Now, this is not only my first TikTok, but it is a TikTok about TikTok. Now, this week, the CEO of TikTok came and testified before Congress as there is growing rumblings and discussion over a nationwide ban on the app. Do I believe TikTok should be banned? No.
There you have progressive lawmaker Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez arguing that we should not ban TikTok here in the United States, despite some of the security concerns and privacy concerns and its ties to the Chinese government. Now, her advocacy is interesting in that I think we agree with her because there are some serious constitutional concerns, free speech concerns when it comes to banning this. There are legal experts who have weighed in. There are also some concerns about how she and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus took money from ByteDance, which of course is the company behind TikTok. ByteDance donated about $150,000 to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus last year. But to be clear, I don't think that that is what swayed AOC's decision or opinion on this matter, especially when you consider that she's one of the top fundraisers in the Democratic Party, small dollar donors, of course. I don't think that she's fiending for $150,000. But nonetheless, before we get any further, let AOC explain her argument in favor of not banning TikTok.
First of all, I think it's important to discuss how unprecedented of a move this would be. The United States has never before banned a social media company from existence, from operating in our borders. And this is an app that has over 150 million Americans on it. Some of the arguments about banning TikTok have come in with respect to discussions around Chinese surveillance and utilization of data that is tracked and the enormous amount of tracking on US citizens and data that is harvested by TikTok. That doesn't really address the core of the issue, which is the fact that major social media companies are allowed to collect troves of deeply personal data about you that you don't know about without really any significant regulation whatsoever. In fact, the United States is one of the only developed nations in the world that has no significant data or privacy protection laws on the books.
She's absolutely right about that. In fact, some political scientists call it, information capitalism or data capitalism, in that you're using a service, you think that this service is free, but it's not really free because they're gathering your data and selling it to third parties at a tremendous profit. So I think that she raised a lot of interesting and accurate points there, Cenk. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I don't think any of the attacks against TikTok are honest. So is the issue of them being owned by China a real issue where they might transfer data to China? Yes, it is a real issue. By the way, they proposed Project Texas, where then Oracle, an American company, would make sure that none of the data goes to China. But all the Republicans dismissed, I'm sorry, not Republicans, all the politicians dismissed it out of hand. I said, why? That looks like an interesting proposal. That might actually solve the problem. In fact, their proposal, the politicians' proposal, is insane. They're saying we're going to ban the app entirely. That would be the biggest freedom of speech violation probably the country has ever seen, and not even close. That's 150 million Americans that are expressing their speech there and have a library of content where they have expressed speech. And by the way, also have small businesses that they have set up on that. If they cared about the so-called business community, this is where they would go, oh, wait a minute, there's tons, and there's like hundreds of thousands of small businesses on TikTok, wiping all of that out. You're gonna go to the nuclear option first, which is a ban? That doesn't make any sense. There's 1,000 other ways to focus on the issue of them not being able to transfer data to the Chinese government. So when you tell me that you're not going to any of those more reasonable options and you're immediately going to the most extreme option, what you're telling me is this really isn't about transferring data to China. We just want to shut this stuff down, okay? So why do they want to shut it down? Very good reasons. Republicans saw that they lost the midterm elections partly because of TikTok. I'm not exaggerating. And by the way, also the 2020 election. The increase in younger voters, both in 2020 and in 2022, made the difference for the Democrats in the Senate and for Joe Biden to win the election. If the young people hadn't showed up in a greater number, Biden would have lost. Trump would be president.
That's
now,
true. I mean, the race was much closer in these swing states than I think corporate media would have you believe.
Yeah, I see this stat all the time. 3 swing states, Biden only won by 43,000 votes combined in those 3 states.
That's insane.
If young people hadn't showed up to vote, Trump is president and the Republicans have the Senate. So the Republicans are like, kill TikTok at all costs, okay? Now, other business interests like Meta, Facebook that owns Facebook and Instagram, they're like, they are literally paying for propaganda in a lot of the different media against TikTok, pretending that they are concerned about the Chinese data issue. No, they're concerned that TikTok's eating their lunch, right? So Facebook and all of the other mega platforms like Twitter, controlled by an out of control right winger, Elon Musk. Yet there's no talk of shutting down Twitter, the bias of Twitter, etc.
How Twitter is used to manipulate the electorate.
Exactly. How about the bots on Twitter, the trolls on Twitter? How about the foreign agents on Twitter? How about the foreign agents on Facebook, right?
That's a really good
These
point.
are actually proven facts.
Yeah.
There's been no proven foreign agents on TikTok. But wait, we're talking about banning them, but not the ones that we know had foreign agents operating on them. Because it's a coordinated campaign by all of the media to attack TikTok, including mainstream media. Oh, they hate the digital media is killing them. And now TikTok's the hottest, okay? Finally, you get to the corporate Democrats. The corporate Democrats are like, well, it was nice that we won those elections, but we have to be a hawk against China.
That's right, that's the other part of this, right?
Oh, this is a Chinese Communist Party. They walk right into a Republican talking point because guys like Biden honestly are idiots that base their policies and their strategies on 40 years ago. We have to be tough against the communists, right? All of us 85-year-old Democrats agree. That's half of it. The other half of it is they're like, what if these kids vote in primaries? Then none of the corporate Democrats might ever win again in a primary. So now everyone in power is incentivized to lie to you and tell you that TikTok's the biggest danger. Don't believe the hype. And thank you to AOC and other progressives rising out of their slumber and going, oh right, yes, these are our voters. Yes, we should defend them.
One of the other problems I see though, and I don't think AOC falls in this category at all. She's young, she's with it, she's very active on social media. But there is a problem with people, lawmakers in particular, who don't really understand how social media works or don't really understand how, in some cases, the internet works. And they're the ones who make decisions. They're the ones who write the legislation and vote on legislation that has an impact on the internet, on our data, on these social media platforms. So that concerns me too. But overall, I do think that AOC is right here. And again, I want to reiterate, there are all sorts of people who will lose if they ban TikTok. So our free speech rights might be violated according to legal experts, as I mentioned earlier. But I didn't even realize this. Many people rely on TikTok for their own small businesses and their own self-employment. So there's a personal financial component to that as well.
And if you're wondering, wait a minute, Congress always does what business interests want. Why aren't they doing it in this case?
These are like individuals.
Because these are small businesses,
actual small businesses,
who do not donate to politicians.
Exactly.
The only relevant businesses are the ones that donate to politicians. If you don't bribe them, then they don't care about you. If you bribe them, then they love you and will do anything to protect you. That is why they are trying to protect, and that's another factor here, the media companies that are donors to those politicians. They're helping them by trying to destroy TikTok on their behalf. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.